right, I asked a bunch of people yesterday if they ran this double 2-eye 4-down front and got a great response from lots of college, high school coaches actually overseas in Europe, giving me different ideas, which sparked me to be able to make this video. So I'll show you guys different things we've done over the past 6 years in our double 2-eye front. Variety of different coverages, but I'm just going to focus on really what we did here in the box. So let's get started. So this first clip, we're in just double 2-eyes. We have wider fives. It's second 5 situation here. But what I really like about the double 2-eye front in a passing situation, yes, these guys are not going to get a great pass rush, but what it generally does to the slide side, you'll get this guy really helping out, which then gets you double one-on-ones really to the man side and to the slide side of the protection. And number 42 was a heck of a player for us. So he does a little chop rip and finishes with the sack there. Here it is versus the run, and this is actually going to be a quarterback run here on a 4th and 1 situation. And here's a variation where our linebacker, because of his coverage responsibility, he told the defensive end to come be a 4-eye. So we're a 4-eye, 2-eye, 2-eye, 5, and this kid's going to use his backdoor rule. So we're essentially pinching across the board, eliminating all the gaps and allowing everyone to play fast here. And defensive lineman coming off a block, making a play there. One of our favorite things to do is a middle pick stunt here, where they're both going to aim for this center shoulder. All right, the guy, when the center steps to him, once, the golf analogy is you want to tee up the ball. All right, so you want to tee up the center for 51 to bring his driver right through and bring him off. So 53 not doing a terrible job, but I would want more extension here. And 51 coming bashing this shoulder off. And we actually end up getting the holding call here because the center comes and tackles 53, or I think 53 would have the TFL. But what it creates now is your linebackers, all right, some freedom to move. And there on 3rd and 2, we would have got the stop regardless of the penalty. Here it is again. So here we're stemming to it. So we started off in your traditional 4-down front. We're stemming to this. They're going to aim for this center shoulder. Center steps here to the left. I want extension, so it's not great, but this guy does a really nice job of picking through. His aiming point's to the backside gap. Now, a lot of times the guard helps us out here because he uses his momentum. Physics helps us get through. And against a run that actually would have been pretty difficult on 3rd and 2 to stop in a quarters coverage is now going to be pretty good because we get an extra defender that this guy doesn't block. And he's able to finish on 3rd and 2 for a 1-yard gain against actually the kid that led the country in rushing touchdowns from the quarterback position. So we get pretty lucky here, but sometimes that's the game, right? All right, this comes in a little bit late, but this is just showing you that you can move one guy. So we were in double 2-eyes, and this guy was here, and we moved him to a 3 technique. So you get these O-linemen that are lunging out, and now you're crossing their face because you've sat here in the 2-eye, played normal, you've sat here and you ran the pick, and now you're moving against the grain. So it just gives you an example. We don't have too many clips of that, but we can do that with our tackle and our nose. So now moving both, and why we don't have too many clips, because we like moving both of them at the same time. So against a run here, double 2-eyes, again, most of the time we're either staying in it or running this pick. Now we're working against the grain, trying to put the O-line in conflict. Running back sees my linebacker right here, cuts it back. And our DBs and our DN make a heck of a play there on 2nd and 6 for a -1-yard gain. We got the audio here. This ends up being a bad snap, but I think this was going to be a pretty good look, and it shows you that it opens this up real nice for your linebackers to fit. So we end up with the safety, which is good, but I think we would have probably got a nice TFL potentially there if we would have made the tackle. But I'll take the safety. This was against Mount Union. They're going to actually run a perimeter run, which is a pain in the butt. Actually, overall, my linebacker's not getting set. But what we're doing is running a pinch look, all right? So these guys have a lag rule. If they get blocked to them, they're flying out. My linebackers are actually misfit, but we're playing quarters coverage, so we got an extra guy over here, which you're going to see show up in the fit. If you get run away, then you back door it and play the run. So there's 54. I would like him to be more aggressive with his hands and get more knockback and then get into the B. But this was the first game that we ran this kind of scheme. So you got all these gaps closed out. Again, if your linebackers are in a good position, now they're sitting here as the C-gap defender, and then we're going to get an extra C-gap defender with our quarters here. So here, the only clip I have, but one of our favorite stunts is the inside penetrator, outside looper. We'll do this mostly out of different fronts, but here we have it out of our 2-eye front, so they're going to rip across the guard's face. We say rip post on the tackle. We're going to get our outside guy to go upfield and then scrape under. All right, so this is our inside penetrator, outside looper here. And 91 doing a nice job to the man side. Obviously, this is pretty good to the man side of the protection. To the zone side of the protection, 45 doesn't do it right. But what we'll teach this guy as he's looping under is you're to the slide side of the protection if the center's looking at you. Put that kid in conflict either way. If you just go there right now, you're helping them out and their scheme. I would like 91 to come tighter off of 64's butt. Maybe we could have got the sack there. 4th and 9 off the field, though. Not too bad. So this comes in a little bit late from our end zone, but we're in double 2-eyes. Now we're running outside penetrator, inside looper here. And we don't necessarily do it great. We ended up, the penetrator gets free, the tailback stays in the block. We're playing a rush to cover concept here, so 33 sees that block, and our man coverage linebacker ends up there on the sack. We give him a rule of a certain amount of time that this guy blocks before he adds in. We actually have him sing a little song. It's not going to be awesome to the slide side, but I actually like this to the slide side better, especially if these guys are greedy and helping out. Because if this kid's fast and under into the B on paper to the slide side, that's not good. But if this guy is helping out, eyes here, we can get this guy free. But it's better if this guy loops. This kid wasn't the greatest athlete in the world, so he needs to loop a little bit tighter around. But generally, in my time here, the penetrator is the guy that usually gets the sack, not the looper, even though it's set up pretty nicely for the looper a lot of the times. So here we're actually in our 2-eye, and these kids are going to read it based off the slide. So we're running, just a normal 2-eye front, and if it becomes a pass, the guy to the slide will loop. So you see 30, he actually led the country in sacks his junior year. So we're in a normal front. He reads that it's pass, and he loops. Again, he's not getting to the quarterback. Ball's out pretty decently quick, but it's a nice scheme to get a good pass rush if you get a 4-man slide, or in this situation, max protection here in this concept. Here's just a one-man plug. So we're going to bring, I believe, this cat to the B gap. Again, not a great snap. We don't get a great rush from him. Our D-line have to understand, too, when we're running these one-man plugs. And I think the ball on the ground, he gets hesitant. I hate how kids will do that. When they see a fumble, they just kind of lose all all scheme thought and go chase the ball. But just how you can one-man plug it there. Here's a double-man plug out of the 2-eye. We're actually running the middle pick stunt and bringing both linebackers to the B gap, playing a cover 0 style. So my safeties own the tight end and the running back here in man on 1st and 10. And good flow to the football. Let's check out the pick stunt. I want more extension, but again, at the end of the day, you're just clogging all this up. And we end up here with some free hitters. And then the hinge guy takes this guy, so he's reading quarterback and then adding in. Here it is running just the 2 plugs, I believe, with no movement up front. Actually, we're running the Mexico again. So we're running the Mexico. Now, we'll also do another stunt where pass rush, where it's essentially the same as our Mexico stunt, but if we're thinking, hey, I'm telling them it's a pass, so if you get this, don't worry about the tee up, just rip around and rip to the nearest thing, understanding, hey, the tee up technique pick is best against the run. And then being able to rip around, because you should come free in this concept, is best against the pass. We're just showing linebackers coming. If we were running that, if we knew it's 3rd and 12, this year we didn't have that concept built in. But if we would have ran this concept, he got this, he's looping around quick, he would have been actually the free guy potentially to get a hit on the quarterback. This is awesome, actually, from the defensive back. Great fighting. This receiver was a heck of a player. This corner for us was a heck of a player. He kind of gets away with a push-off. But my kid trying to make an effort on the ball. And on 3rd and 12, again, great play. But every coach out there knows we got pretty lucky there on 3rd and 12, especially since there was not the push-off called. 3rd and 14. Now we're going to run a cross-dog stunt with both these cats coming in. So 43, I don't like that he necessarily showed this early. Like sitting down here, there's not many spaces for this guy to go. Just bringing these guys out, bringing the cross dog through, and then the 2-eye techniques, being able to make a play. And for us, I haven't talked about it much, but really on this clip, this is 4 defensive ends out here playing for us on a 3rd and 14 pass rush situation. So being able to teach all your defensive line, the fronts, the movements, any sort of simulated pressures is huge, because then you could get really your 4 best pass rushers in certain situations. Here's a DB blitz. So we're essentially running our pinch stunt right here with the guy's rules. We're bringing a DB off the edge and a linebacker, so we're essentially running a Saul concept, cover 0 here. So he gets the lag technique. He's our C-gap player now. This kid gets reached, but we're fine because we're 6 gaps. Again, we're fine getting reached there. Let the linebackers run. And they're on 1st and 10 getting a run of 2 yards. Here's our similar concept. Now we're going to bring this DB off the edge. We're going to rush this linebacker. These guys are going to stay thick. This kid has a backdoor rule. My guy 46 MA's here. He should be a B-gap player. He was a little bit of confusion because we had a 7 technique rule this game. So not great, but potentially it allowed 11 to be unblocked in the scheme. 33's got the running back, so if the running back would have went here right now, he's sitting there. 24 is a man coverage player on the tight end, so he would have got to the gap anyway. Big guys up front taking on all the blocks. 56 backdooring it. Actually not doing it exactly what we want. We would want him to spill this, but this kid, pretty good ball player, realizes that guy's not going to get to me. I'm just going to get up to the running back. He's got to finish a little bit better here on 4th and 2, but again, when you teach pursuit and relentless effort, minus 13-yard play there on 4th and 2. And we're back to the top. So those are things we've done out of the double 2 eyes. Again, we've ran a different variety of coverages, but gives you some options there. And I think it's a great front, and you can play it on any down. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to talk to you guys. Have a good Friday.